The next round of stimulus checks will be going out to Americans next week, and lawmakers have said that there are eligibility requirements that have to be met in order for you to qualify. These stimulus payments are worth $500. Watch until the end for the exact details on the stimulus program. About 300,000 low-income essential workers will receive $500 in relief checks next week from the Baker administration. Payments will be mailed to eligible residents, and that's beginning on Monday. It's all part of the Crisis Essential Employee Premium Pay Program. The House Speaker shared in a Twitter post that we are proud to establish this program through our American Rescue Plan Act. The essential workers who work to keep the Commonwealth running during the height of the crisis deserve nothing less. In order to be eligible, people must have lived in Massachusetts on or before June 15th, or been a part-time resident between June 1st and June 15, 2021. People must have earned at least $13,000 with a total income below 300% of the federal poverty level. The maximum income for a single filer must be no more than $38,000, and a household of 2 people can make no more than $2,000. People who receive one of the first round of $500 checks sent to about 480,000 people are not eligible for the second round. Even more good news is that people in New York, Georgia, and Connecticut are about to see a little relief from high gas prices. 17 states had been contemplating a gas tax holiday to reduce prices at the pump. This June, as the unofficial start of summer has arrived, 3 states have put legislation into effect to reduce or eliminate taxes on gas. In Georgia, drivers have already been paying less as the governor suspended motor fuel taxes beginning March 18, 2022, all the way through May 31st. On May 26th, he extended the suspension period through July 14th. The suspension applies to excise tax on motor fuel vehicles, including gas and diesel. Typically, distributors must collect the tax from consumers and pay to the state. During the suspension, distributors are not required to pay the motor fuel excise tax. The amount of tax will be calculated on a complex formula related to the average miles per gallon of vehicles registered in Georgia, and then adjusted for changes in fuel efficiency and the Consumer Price Index. Georgia gas prices at $4.16 per gallon are already among the lowest in the country. New York adopted a similar process to save drivers and gas stations money on fuel by reducing the state's fuel tax. According to experts, New York's gas prices are currently among the highest in the country, around $5 a gallon. And some people are worried that will not help New Yorkers enough. Shaving off 16 cents off that price of gas leaves New Yorkers paying more than the current national average of $4.67. And the Connecticut governor, Ned Lamont, also passed a bipartisan bill to suspend Connecticut's excise tax of 25 cents a gallon through June 30th, 2022. The gas tax holiday went into effect April 1st, giving Memorial Day weekend drivers some relief. Connecticut gas prices are among the highest in the country at $4.70 a gallon. It's also official that President Biden has signed the new bill into law. Americans can expect to receive an even larger stimulus check very soon from the government. Most people have already filed their taxes, doing so before the April 18th deadline. So, they may be wondering why they haven't received the tax refunds yet. Well, despite the tax season for 2022 having already started, the IRS was reportedly still behind by around 8 million tax returns that have not been processed from 2020. CBS News reported that back in April, there were about 15 million unprocessed tax returns from the last 2 years. Generally, if your refund is delayed for more than 45 days, the IRS will pay interest on the total. Starting July 1st, the interest increases from 4% to 5%, compounded daily.
That they're having is very important for the moment.
So does he consider this compromise that is potentially taking shape to be wide-ranging?
Well, what he's calling for clearly, and we've heard him talk to this on Thursday when he talked about how it is enough, and how when he went to Texas, Uvalde, the parents that he met with for more than 3 hours asked him to do something, asked for Congress to do something, and this is what we're seeing now. We believe Congress needs to act, and what we're seeing is that they're taking those actions by having this conversation, by having these negotiations to act. And again, we haven't seen these types of steps in a long time, and so the president is encouraged by it. He welcomes it. We have to see what will come out of the negotiations.
You said he's giving them space. I mean, he's not in regular communication with either the Democrats or Republicans involved in that
I'll say
compromise.
this. What I can say is that I'm not going to, as we like to say, we don't read out any private conversations, but, and I've mentioned this last week, our Office of Ledge Affairs, his Office of Ledge Affairs, have been in constant communications since the Uvalde shootings, more than dozens of conversations with leadership in Congress, with the negotiators, and also with staff. So that has been continuing. So his staff is really has been very involved in that. One more thing I do want to add. Senator Chris Murphy was on one of the networks here, and he said that he has been in constant communication with us every day during this time of negotiation, and he also said that he believes it's time for the Senate to make a move, and it's time for the Senate to take action. Okay, I'm going to just go around. I'm going to go back a little bit, but go ahead, Mary.
Just following up on that, I think trying to get a sense of how the president defines success when it comes to this issue. I mean, you note those pleas to do something. Is doing something, even if it is far short of, obviously, sort of the sweeping legislation that the president's looking for, is that still a success in the president's mind?
Well, I think the way that the president, and he has said this, right, which is, yes, he has laid down a sweeping list of actions. He did that very passionately and very effectively on Thursday. And what he is saying, because the parents, what he heard directly from the parents in Uvalde and families, is that they just want to see some action. They want to see that Congress actually can put their politics aside and come in a bipartisan way and deliver something. And when you think about the red flag law, I know Nancy was asking me about that. 72% of Americans want the red flag law, and so that's encouraging. That is important. And if you think about it too, if you look at the shootings in the past, Parkland, if the red flag law was in place back in 2018, that would have prevented, if it was enacted, that would have potentially prevented that tragedy. So, and now Florida has that red flag law, and it has prevented tragedy in the state. So there are things here that are very important. I think that are going to have some impact. Of course, the president's always going to call for more, but we want to see action, and that's what we're hoping to see with the negotiation that's currently happening in the Senate.
And on the timing of all this, Leader Schumer wants to give enough time for negotiators to try and find some common ground, but also wants to be able to get, especially Republicans, on the record on where they stand here. How long does the president believe these talks should be able to continue if there isn't, a real formal agreement yet?
I mean, look, the president wants action right away, as soon as possible. He doesn't want to. Clearly, the families don't want to wait, who have lost their loved ones, sadly. But we leave the mechanism to how this process is going to work and move forward to Senator Schumer. I'm gonna just go take some in the back here. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, you in the. I know you yelled a question at me when I was walking out.